Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, a very good morning to you from north of London, more or less. The name is Sid, Sierra India Delta. That's the radio name I go by. All my information is on QRZ.com. Wishing you a very good morning. The microphone back to you. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Golf 1, Sierra Delta Kilo. Over.
Very good morning to you, Sid G1SDK, M0JCF. Yeah, the name this end is Mark, and actually we're not too far apart. I'm just in Sidcup in Kent, so just across the smoke there from you. And you got a cracking signal to me, Sid. 5 and 9 plus 10, very consistent. If that's ground wave, then that's an awesome signal. Otherwise, I suspect Envis, very high angle. I'm using an old TS520S analog hybrid radio, and just a 90-foot long wire, but it's not overly high. It's about I'd say about 10 meters above the ground, so about 30 feet, maybe a bit less. So it's a great Envis antenna on 80 and 60, and I've noticed the last 2 days that 40 meters has had some great into G, and I'm suspecting that although we're relatively close, it's actually quite a high angle skip between myself and you. But if there's any fading, I think that will confirm that. But otherwise there might be a mix fading due to ground wave and sky wave, who can tell. But yeah, that's the story this end there, Sid. So back to you, G1SDK. This is M0JCF, Sidcup in Kent.
M0JCF, G1SDK. Well, you're 5 and 9 plus 20, Mark. I don't know whether it's ground wave or not. It's probably ground wave. But your old Tango Sugar 520 is working very well with the long wire there. And I'm afraid I'll have to go to your team because I've been summoned by the district nurse to come and who's come over to change the bandage on my chest because I had an ICD fitted last week. So 5 and 9 plus 20 dB, Mark, down in Sidcup in Kent, coming into North London. I wish you a good day and best 73s. I have to go now urgently, I'm afraid. I didn't expect it to be so quick, so I do apologise to other stations who were calling me. I wish you all a good day, best 73s, and going QRT. Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, G1SDK there. 73s.
Yeah, G1SDK, best 73s, mate. Take care. Look forward to a rag tune next time round. You have a great day. Bye-bye for now. A QRZ, would anyone like a report or a quick chat on 40 meters? This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, just taking over the frequency. Yeah, Mike 3, Lima Uniform Sierra, very good morning. The name this end is Mark, that's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I think you've probably heard it all. I'm just down in Sidcup in Kent. The locator for that is Juliet Oscar 01 Bravo Kilo. So back to you there, and I'll give you a report on the next over. Mike 3, Lima Uniform Sierra, this is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mark in Sidcup, Kent.
QSL Mark. Yeah, my name personal this end is Howard. I'm located just on the outskirts of the town called Aylesbury Bucks, QSL.
Yeah, QSL, mate. Yeah, I know Aylesbury. Go round the M25 from where I live, get to the northerly point of it, or the northwest point of it, turn right and point your nose slightly north-northwest, and you get to Aylesbury on your way to Oxford, if I remember rightly. I've been to Aylesbury a few times, work-related. As I say, I don't know Aylesbury on a social level, but I know where it is, and I have frequented it a few times. Probably haven't been there for more than 10 years. years, but I do know the area. And in fact, I can actually hit the Aylesbury repeater. I can't think of the letters off the top of my head, GB3 whatever, but I know from Sid Cup in Kent, I can actually get Aylesbury using normally 50 watts and the JPO up on the roof. So there you go, Howard, that's the story here. And I believe, I wasn't really paying attention, and I said I would. I believe you was around 5 and 9, but I'll correct that in a moment. Sorry, I do ramble, Howard, and that is probably one of my failings, or maybe it's a good thing for amateur radio, because you're getting more than a 5 and 9 73 next. Back to you, Howard. M3LUS M0JCF. Yeah, QSL. Well, I know Sittingbourne very well as well for 3 reasons. One is obviously they've got a speedway team, and back in the day in the 70s and 80s, I was a very, very keen Crayford Kestrels fan. Well, that team went defunct and the stadium disappeared. Oh, way back, was it about 1982, something like that? And it's in the last couple of years that Sittingbourne, which is at Wade, they used to have a training track there, and then Sittingbourne had a team there. Now, I'm pretty sure the team's still going. I haven't been there for a couple of years. But the other reason I know Sittingbourne is I've got one of my nephews lives in Sheerness, or near Sheerness, on the Isle of Sheppey, so just across the bridge. All right, the other reason I know is my brother has a small holding, like a small farm, just before you get to Sittingbourne. As you travel down that dual carriageway, before you get to Sittingbourne, you turn left, follow your nose, and you go through a little village, and then he's got a small holding just the other side of the village. Forget the name of the village. It's something like Netherington or Neddington or something like that. But yeah, that's how I know that. And from Sid Cup, I'm on the Black Fen side of Sid Cup, so nearer the A2 than the A20, and I would say we're about 130 feet above sea level, something like that, so we're not very high at all. And in your direction, of course, I've got Shooters Hill bang slap between us, so once again, like I was telling Sid, I'm suspecting what we've got here is a little bit of very high angle skip, you know, a bit of Envis. But you're 5 and 9, no problems. Yeah, I was right. I did see it right on the meter. 5 and 9 and quite consistent and a good audio. This end, mate, we're using an old Kenwood Trio, Tango Sierra 520 Sierra, an old analog hybrid radio, and running about 110 watts, I suppose, into a 90-foot long wire there, Howard. So back to you, M3LUS M0JCF. Yeah, QSL, mate, yeah, fully understood. In fact, on that over, you dropped from 5 and 9 to about 5 and 7. Just a little bit of a slow fade there, but perfectly readable throughout. Yeah, I understand the 10 watts as well. And do you know what, Howard? I quite often, excuse me, I quite often run /QRP, so I'm quite often below 10 watts. During the sporadic E-season, as in like the last couple of months, I quite often work 10 meters /QRP. I've got an old President Lincoln this year that I've been using, and the output transistors were the incorrect correct transistors, so it actually will not go above 10 watts, and that suits me just fine. Each year I tend to buy an old radio. I think the Lincoln though I'm going to keep. I've had about 6 or 7 of them now, but they're a lovely radio on 10 meters. Of course, they, you know, the filtering's always going to be a bit of an issue. You know, they're more susceptible to noise, etc. But then that's part of the challenge with the receive as well as the transmit. But last year I used a Bellcom LS 102L, and I also used an old Ham International multi-mode 2 CB that was converted purely for 10 meters. I say, and all the radios, I've kept them all below 10 watts, and I think this year 10 meters I've got well over 300 contacts, and last year I did over 600. And I think the icing on the cake last season was I managed to work Franco i5 KAP. You may well have worked him on 10 meters, and he loves his QRP too. And we wanted to see how far low we could get it. Well, he managed to get down to 10 milliwatts, and I was still hearing him, albeit it was like a 3-and-1 or a 2-and-1. But because I knew he was there, that otherwise, you know, it would never have happened. And the lowest I could get was 200 milliwatts, and you know, it was great fun. And likewise, I've worked a few countries like that where, you know, I've met like-minded people. We've gone down to sort of into the milliwatt range, but generally around 250 milliwatts, something like that. 500 milliwatts is sort of the threshold. But you know, I've done Sweden, Spain, France, Switzerland, Italy, places like that. So I do love the slash QRP. I mean, today I'm not. Today, I mean, this radio's running, I say, well, it will actually, on a whistle, it will go up to about 130 watts. But it's just normal speaking to you. It's down to about 100, 110 watts. But of course, when you do the mathematics, the difference between 10 watts and 100 watts, when it comes to S points, isn't very much at all. A couple of S points is all it is. And that bears out the fact that you're 5'9" to me, and I'm sort of 5'9" plus to you. So that sort of makes sense. So, and the IC 7300, yeah, very popular radio, isn't it? Very popular. I think everyone on the continent owns one of them, closely followed by the FT 991A. Me, the most modern radio I've got for HF is a TS 590S, and I'm a bit of a Kenwood fan. I've got 8 Kenwoods. And this one I'm running in the garage just because it's convenient to use early in the morning, late at night. But all the other radios, barring 1 or 2, they're all up in the loft. And of course, crashing around in the loft first thing in the morning, last thing at night isn't an option. The only problem you might be able to hear here is I've got a washing machine in the garage, and it's starting, I must have an uneven load, it's starting to hammer around. Anyway, after that long monologue, I'll hand it back to you there. M3LUS M0JCF. Did I talk too long? I think there's a possibility I rabbited on too long there. My fault, Howard. M3LUS M0JCF. Okay, M3LUS M0JCF. Apologies, Howard. I probably rabbited on far too long on that over, and should have seen the warning signs when your signal went from 9 to 7. Hopefully it's just propagation and not something untoward has happened to the radio, or there's a possibility like Sid was called away. So I'll just call you one more time and listen out for you. M3LUS M0JCF listening. Yeah, M3LUS M0JCF. Howard, if you can hear me, apologies, Howard. I just, I've lost you, mate. Lost you in the noise now. I've got sort of an S3, S4 noise, and I can see the needle flickering, but not sure if that's just atmospherics or if that's you trying to just break my noise floor. Apologies again, and look forward to the next time. Best 73 to you and the family, and take care. And if you do hear me again on this frequency or nearby on 40 metres, give us a shout, and we'll just carry on, and I'll remember to keep the gob shut. M3LUS M0JCF. Nothing heard. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, a lot came back that time, but I got a Mike 6. If I could take the Mike 6 first, you was the first off the line, but unfortunately then everyone else called in and I never got the suffix. So the Mike 6, if you could go again, please. M0JCF.
Yes, Mike 6 RJA, name's Robert.
Yeah, Mike 6 RJA Robert, very good signal from you, and I say it's 5 and 9. It's going to be a 5 and 9 plus. I'll be more accurate on the next over. The name this end is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm down in Sidcup in Kent, just in the southeast of England. There, back to you, Robert. M6 RJA M0JCF.
Yeah, good morning to you, Mark. Name's Robert. And, yeah, your signal report to me is 59+20. I'm a little pistol burned down in Dorset. Your modulation is a Radio 5, no problem at all there, Mark. Using a Icon 7400 on 102-foot G5 RV there, back to you.
Oh, nice one, Robert. Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be equal to me almost. 5 and 9 plus 15. Definitely, I would say I'm looking at the meter at a slight angle, so there's every chance you're also 5 and 9 plus 20. And the G5 RV are working very well. A very popular antenna that. I've actually got one in the garage. I actually bought it second hand some years ago now. I think I was still an M6 myself when I bought it, and when I unfurled it in the back garden, I've got an 85-foot garden, and I realised I was going to have a lot of problems getting that that antenna sort of completely in. Of course, you know, I had the option of folding it and bending it and twisting it around, but I've already got the long wire up, and works quite well, especially for Envis. I don't know that I would get any advantage by putting the antenna up, so it's sat in the garage now until I get off my backside and do something about it. I was thinking of making it an off-centre dipole, but just haven't got round to it at the moment there, Robert. But a cracking signal from down there in Dorset, and lovely part of the world. A lot of my family come from that side, the West Country, the Dorset in Poole and Bournemouth. I've got current family, elderly family that live in the Bournemouth area, and I might have younger family, obviously a few generations on, that live in the Poole area, and you know, so I sort of know the area. Me and my wife like to go down there every now and again for maybe a weekend's break, etc. So back to you there, Robert. M6 RJA M0JCF.
M0JCF, M6RJA, M6RJA. Yeah, nice to meet you there, Mark. No problem at all, mate. Yeah, I just got my shack sorted out there, getting ready for the big one, so hopefully we can, well, I've been waiting for them to get my radio back, which I got back last weekend. It blew up, so lightning strike, and broke up Cape Rig. He did a brilliant job on it. Got it all back up going again and working, which I'm very pleased for. Very much, so thanks very much. So I blew all the output, drivers, blew the board. So I made a big mistake of leaving the area in, but that's one of those things you learn by mistake. It was a costly one, but still. And, well, I phoned up Icon, originally the rig come from. They wanted £900 to replace all the parts. Me and my examiner, Norman Higgins, G7VIK, to give my mate a shout. I said, who's that in Norway? He said, Mike over at Ted Rig. He's very reasonable, so I said, all right, and mate, I'll do that. No, I went and called him, and I said, Mike, I said, I can't stand behind you, so I know the radio. I said, that's good, I put all the outputs, drivers, that on it. Right, yeah, I'll say no more, he said. Send it up to me, he said, I'll look at it. He looked at it. He replaced all the drivers, all the everything. Right up and running them for 200 quid, so it's a big saving there, back to you.
Yeah, Roger, mate. Well, it's sounding really good, and yeah, I know. Well, the manufacturers are always going to rip you off, aren't they? I mean, you know, they'll sell a radio for a price, but if they wanted to build the radio from the parts, you know, it's going to cost 10 times as much. And I think they factor that in, and they think, you know, well, if somebody's put this radio in for repair, they really want that radio. But you can't beat local, mate. You can't beat local rig engineers, etc. I dabble myself. I do a little bit of restoration, etc., and I also I like to homebrew and build stuff. But this radio, I mean, it only cost me 150 quid, but it had several issues. One of them's a little bit persistent. It's got a little bit of an AGC problem, but other than that, you know, it was a little bit deaf and it was drifting somewhat. So I paid 150 for it, and then I took it to a local rig engineer who had a bit more better test equipment than me, because this being a hybrid as well with tube outputs, I really didn't want to go probing around there too much, and he charged me 30 quid, a couple of components. It was capacitors and a diode, or maybe 2 diodes, and a bit of an alignment, and I'm really happy with it. So there you go. I think you know, it's always fun when you get a piece of kit that you like and you can find someone that will work on it without ripping the backside out of you. But just so you know, there was a little bit of QSB on the signal there. You went from your 5 and 9 plus and you were dropping towards sort of 5 and 7, 5 and 5. So I think that's what's happening on 40 meters. We got a bit of a slow fade going on, but yeah, it was perfectly readable throughout. And I am known for ratcheting on a bit too long there, Robert. So what happens is I tend to lose people because I unkey, and it turns out my over was just a little bit too long. So back to you, M6RJA, M0JCF. There you go. Lost him. Just. Yeah, M6RJA, M0JCF. Once again, the warning signs were there, Robert. The warning signs were there. Your signal was dropping, and I can just about hear you in my noise floor. So it looks like I may have lost you as well, mate, by rabbiting on far too long. I must have reined that one in. So I'll listen for you just once more, Robert. I'll listen for you once more and see if you come back up the noise. M6RJA, this is M0JCF listening. Yeah, M6RJA, M0JCF. Robert, if you can hear me, so long as I'm not talking over you, it looks like the propagation dropped your signal way down low, and as I say, should have seen the warning sign. So I wish you very best 73 if you can hear me. I'm hoping that you can, and I look forward to catching up with you in the near future. And I think for my next one, I'll definitely put a reins on the long overs. So all the very best, you mate. Take care, and catch up with me later. If you hear me, then please jump in. Always welcome it. M6RJA, M0JCF. Okay, nothing heard. QRZ. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Yeah, Mike 7, Foxtrot, Lima Yankee. Very good morning to you. I think you've probably heard what's happening with me. I'll rabbit on too long, so I'll make these ones quick. The name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm down in Sid Cup in Kent in the southeast of England, and I'll give you a report on the next over. So M7FLY. This is M0JCF.
is Barrow in Furness, Cumbria, Northwest England. 594. Over.
Yeah, okay there, Geoff. Got you nice and clear there. M7FLY, M0JCF. Thanks for the 5 and 9, 5 and 9 plus. You're around about 5 and 7 there, Geoff. 5 and 7. A little bit on the quiet side, but was readable throughout. Today I'm using a TS520S, an old analog hybrid Kenwood trio, and a 90-foot long wire, running about 110 watts on the peaks there, Geoff. If you just give me your operating conditions, that'll be absolutely superb. Back to you, M7FLY, M0JCF. Yeah, M7FLY, M0JCF. Well, I'll tell you what, from Barrow in Furness, way up there near the border of Scotland, mate, you're certainly making the journey. As I say, a very consistent 5 and 7, but there is some now QR Mexico from some nearby stations. But got all your details written down. You're in the log. I'll make this one quick, Geoff, only because you probably heard, or possibly heard, my previous QSOs. I was rabbiting on far too long and losing people in the QSB, and I really don't want to lose you today with just dead air and just listening to the static. So I really appreciate you coming in. I know other people were trying to call me as well, so I'd like to give a few more people a chance before I go QRT. So all the very best, mate. 73, you take care, and always catch up with me again if you hear me on frequency. Back to you for any finals. M7FLY, this is M0JCF, marking Sid Cup Kent. Okay, and true to form, Geoff, your signal dropping right down towards my noise floor, just caught that final over. All the very best, mate. QRZ, this is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Okay, QRZ, this is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot will now go QRT. Several reasons. One, the QSB and not hearing anyone. Number two, I now have S8 QRM Mexico from someone very, very nearby. Thank you to everyone who tried to contact me. It was very, very much appreciated. And apologies to those that suffered me rabbiting on far too long and dropping your signal, dropping into my noise and me losing you. I'll rein that one in next time. So for any shortwave listeners that had caught up with me on social media as well, reports always greatly received via social media. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot going QRT. This frequency is clear for use. This frequency is clear for use. Thank you.